Okay, I want to make a video now because I've been in this business, this industry as a whole, a long time. Full service shops, lube centers, you name it, everywhere in between, body shop. There's something I know that comes up a lot, has to do with the markup of parts. Well, there are several things that you really have to consider and factor in here. Some shops do not want you to bring your own parts for different reasons, but there are several reasons as a whole. Each shop and each technician may vary. But here's several things you need to consider. Do they make a profit when they mark up parts? Obviously, that's simple mathematics. But the reality is, customers will very often bring a cheap or a junk part, which is the whole reason the customer wants to supply their part in the first place. It has nothing to do with the markup factor of what the wholesaler is making versus just a walk in the door customer. But they get the wrong crap. Recently, a lady came to me wanting a battery. She needed one. The one that was in her car was wrong and literally smoking. I said, ma'am, the parts store is right over there if you want to go buy the appropriate one, because I knew I didn't have the appropriate one on hand. She said, no, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I will get the wrong one. Good customer. Someone thinking. Someone that didn't want their car to catch fire, which it almost did, by the way. That being said, considering correct parts, quality parts, making sure they're the right ones and not the wrong ones, because I've seen people bring their own parts. You tear the car apart. Oh crap, they brought the wrong parts. Your bays are tied up, your lifts are tied down, everything's wrong. So therefore, there's quality parts, there's correct parts, there's timely fashion, and also a mechanic that wants the quality of repair doesn't want a quality part job to go bad because of a junk part. There's a number of reasons involved there. Now here's something you need to consider about the markup. I was a service writer for many years. I'm going to tell you this. The customer brings the car in, mechanic makes an assessment, I call the customer, and then here's what really happens. The customer is crying, oh, why do you have markup on parts? Do you have any idea how many untold hours on a big job a service writer might spend on ordering the parts, getting them there, having to receive them into billing, and then having to make sure the parts are done correctly, going through the whole 9 yards. There's also warranty claims, there's paperwork, so on and so forth. The customer brings me the parts. Oh, hey, they're in the trunk. Oh, no problem. We slap them right on. There's a lot of time saved. The reality is you pay for time and expertise, but no one wants to talk about that. Why not? That's because all we're trying to find is the negative. I want you to look at the facts, people. The facts are that parts on a car need to be quality, they need to be correct. But at the same time, a shop is spending a lot of time. One shop I worked at, they had multiple locations. Even after I would get a part, which took a long time in process, I had to go receive it into our computer system, and then I had to fax the invoices to the main office for filing with a copy of the work order to ensure all parts were being accounted for, and we just weren't going to the parts store and taking parts and trying to steal them or what have you. So there has to be profit for the time tied into things, and people don't look at that. Now, working at a shop, let's say we tell the customer, okay, you bring your own parts, we don't supply them. Some people would say, but I don't understand how to get them. Okay. And also, let's just say you bring your own parts. Some customers will say, okay. Say, oh, you have to take the old ones too. And you have to clean up the mess behind the mechanic. Then we don't need a mechanic's helper. Then we don't need to mark up parts, and your bill will be a lot cheaper. But people would be like, well, I'd rather just pay you for that. You can't have it both ways, people. So that is the one way or another. So let me know what you think.